Good morning, children. Today I am here to explain a lesson, a beautiful story. The story's name is A Gift of Chappals. So now let us move to the story. Before moving to the story, children, you must know about the characters in the story. So the main character is Mritu, and she lives with Tapi. Tapi means grandmother, and Tata. Tata is grandfather. So these three people, Mritu, Tapi, and Tata, live in Madras, which is now called as Chennai. So the setup of the story takes place in Aunt Rukmani's house. So Rukmani has got three children. Their names are as follows: Ravi, Lali, and Meena. So these three, Ravi, Lali, and Meena, are cousins of Mritu. So apart from these characters, there are other characters also. They are Party, and a beggar, and a music teacher. So now let us move to the story, children. Carefully listen. So here, Mritu is a young girl growing up in Madras, now called Chennai, with Tapi, her grandmother, and Tata, her grandfather. So this girl, Mritu, is a small girl. She is being brought up by her grandparents. So she calls her grandmother as Tapi and her grandfather as Tata. So she lives in Chennai. So one day what happens? Tapi takes Mridu to Aunt Rukumani's house. So one afternoon, Tapi takes Mridu to her Aunt Rukumani's house to meet her cousins Lali, Ravi, and Meena. So one afternoon, Tapi decides to take Mridu to Aunt Rukumani's house, and they wanted to meet her and their children, Lali, Ravi, and Meena. So they go to Rukumani's house. As they go, so they find Rukumani smiling and opening the door. So a smiling Rukumani threw open the door. Ravi and Meena rushed out. So Ravi and Meena, as soon as they saw Mritu, they came running towards Mritu. So and Ravi pulled Mritu into the house, but she protested. So what happened? As soon as Ravi saw Mritu, he pulled her inside the house. But Mritu hesitated because she did not remove her slippers. So she says, Ravi says to Mritu, "We have got to show you something. Wait, let me take off my slippers." So Ravi says that we have something to show you. He says to Mritu that he wants to show something to her. But Mritu hesitates to come inside because she had not taken away her slippers. So she wanted to remove her slippers. She set them out neatly near a pair of large black ones. So what happened? She removed her slipper near the door, and she noticed that there were slippers which was worn out, black in color, and had footprints on it also. It was looking very dirty. So those were gray, actually with dust. You could see the clear mark or every toe on the front part of each slipper. The marks of the two big toes were long and scrawny. Mridu didn't have much time to wonder about whose slippers they were. So what happened? She saw that the dirty slippers, which was black in color, and it was covered with dust, and it was completely worn out. It had the footprints of a man or somebody, and it was looking very untidy. And Mritu didn't have time to think about who does it belong to, because Ravi was urging her to come inside and he wanted to show her something. So she didn't mind to think more about the slippers, because Ravi dragged her to the background. So Ravi dragged Mritu to the backyard to show her something which was kept secret behind a thick bitter berry bush. So they had kept something secretly hidden and behind the thick bitter berry bush. There, inside a torn football lined with sacking and filled with sand, lay a very small kitten lapping up milk from a coconut half shell. So, what happened? There was a football. It was torn, it was fully torn, and the you might know, children, the football has a sack inside to be filled with air. So this sack had been come out, and the children had filled the sack with a sand, and inside that ball there lied a small kitten, a small cat, and it was drinking coconut from a coconut shell, half coconut shell. So Ravi says, we found him outside the gate this morning. He was mewing and mewing, poor thing. So what happened? They found the small kitten near the gate that early morning, and they don't want to leave the cat. So they took care of the cat. They brought him to the backyard and they started feeding him with milk. It's a secret, Amma says. Party will leave for our Pattu Mama's house if she knows we have a cat. So what happened? He says, this Meena, she says to Mritu and Ravi, see, it is a very secret, Amma told us, because if Party comes to know that we are growing a cat in a house, she would leave the house and go to Pattu Mama's house. So we are keeping it very secretly in the backyard. So again, Ravi answers, people are always telling us to be kind to animals, but when we are, they scream, oh, don't bring that dirty creature here. So what happened? He says, see, always elders advise us to take care of animals and be kind to animals. But if we take care of animals or be kind, they say don't bring that inside the house, don't feed them, don't touch them, like that way they used to say. And he says that I couldn't be understood why the elders are behaving like that. So again he continues saying, do you know how hard it is just to take a little milk from the kitchen? Party saw me with a glass in my hand just now. I told her I am very hungry and I want to drink it. So what happened? He says, see how hard it is to take some milk from inside the house to feed the cat. Also says that I had taken a glass of milk to feed the cat, but he was seen by his grandmother, by his party. And as his party saw him, just Ravi lied to her that he was hungry and he wanted to drink the milk. But Party didn't believe that Ravi was hungry and he wanted to drink milk. So, just to prove that he was not lying, Ravi had to drink half of the milk. But the way she looked at me, I had to drink most of it to throw her off the scene. So, what happened? He wanted to make his party believe that he is really hungry. So, he started drinking the milk, almost half of the milk he drank. Then only party believed that he was hungry. Then she wanted the tumbler back. Party, party, I'll wash it myself. Why should I put you to trouble? I told her. So again, Party waited till Ravi to complete the milk and she wanted to take away the glass from him and wash it. But Ravi said that he will wash the tumbler and he doesn't want his party to do extra work for him. I had to run and pour the milk into this coconut shell and then run back and wash the tumbler and put it back before she got really suspicious. So, before again the party could see, Ravi ran to the backyard, poured the milk inside the coconut shell, then he ran back to the kitchen, washed the tumbler, and placed it back in its place. So, they found very difficult to take care of the kitten without party knowing it. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahendran. He says that we have to take some other, we have to think about some other idea to feed Mahendran. So children, you might wonder who is Mahendran. So here Mahendran is the little cat. They had named, Ravi and Meena had named the small kitten as Mahendran. So here Ritu was really surprised. She was impressed of hearing that a cat could have a name as Mahendran. Mahendran, this little kitty's name is Mahendran. I am impressed. It's a real name, not just a cute kitty cat name. So she says it is a real name and we don't keep real name for cats. She also says that is she is impressed to hear such a good name for the cat. And again, Ravi explains about the character about means what is Mahendran. Actually, his full name is Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai, MP Punai for short, if you would like. So he says his full name is Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai. He says the full name he had kept for the kitten was Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai, and it can be shortly called as MP Punai. So he says that it belongs to a very good breed, and he says look at his fur, it looks like the lion's mane. You know children, the neck of the lion is covered with a thick hairy like something which is called the mane. So he says that little cat's fur also resembles the same like the lion's mane. So all Mithu was confused why Ravi is speaking like this. She says, and you know what the emblem of the ancient Pallava king was? Don't you? Ravi looked expectantly at Madhu, but Mridu couldn't help giggling. So what happened? He says, see, the ancient Pallava kings, you know what is the emblem? And something he was trying to explain to Mridu, but Mridu couldn't stop laughing. She just giggled. I saw a statue of his tatas, etc. He says that he had seen some relationship regarding of the cat, that is the tatas of the cat. They belong to some Pallava kings, means emblem of something like that, which resemble the cat. And he says that the cat is descendant. Fact is, Mahendran is here is descendant from that very same ancient cat, a close relative, scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion, the Pallava lion emblem of the Pallava dynasty. He says he belonged to the descendant of the Pallava lion, which is in the emblem of the Pallava dynasty. And he says that the cat is such a traditional one, that is a descendant one, which belongs to the Pallava dynasty. Ravi went on walking around the bitterberry bush, waving a twang up and down, his eyes sparkling. He was trying to explain that the cat was a very good breed. This cat is descendant of one other than the Mahapulam Rishi cat. And if I may just remind you, they worshipped cats in ancient Egypt. So he says you shouldn't just simply think that it is a cat. It is a descendant. He belongs to the Rishi cat. And you know, in ancient Egypt, they worshipped cats. So he tries to explain that his cat was a very good one and descendant one. How he loves the sound of his own voice. So Mithu was impressed the way Ravi spoke, and she told to Meena that see how he loves his own voice. So he is going on speaking and speaking. What does that have to do with anything? So she says, why? What that ancient cat is having to do with something with the cat which we have? So Mridu asked to Ravi. Ravi says, I am telling you, this cat is descendant from the Egyptian cat, god or goddess Bastet. Yeah, that's it. So he says that it belongs to that Rishi cat of the Egyptians. Well, one of the descendants of that cat goddesses was a stowaway in one of the Pallava ships, and his descendant was the Mahapali Rishi cat, whose descendant is. So he says one of the cat was stolen by the Pallava's ship, and they also named in kept it in the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, and this cat was a descendant of that family. So he says MP Pune here. So he says that this belongs to that dynasty and this cat belongs to, so only we named it as MP Pune. That is Mahendra Varma Pallava Pune. So at that time, Mritu heard some squeaking noise. She was some sound she heard, and she was wondering what was the sound. So Ravi explains that Lali was learning violin, and that is the sound which comes from Lali's violin. That's Lali learning to play the violin. She'll never learn a thing. The music master just goes on playing like a train whistling on and on, while Lali all the time derailing, going completely off track. So he says, Ravi says, see, Lali is learning violin, how to play violin, but the music teacher plays the violin like the train whistling on and on, but Lali never learns to play it correctly. She is always off the track. So Mridu wanted to see how Lali is practicing violin, so she tries to peep into the window. Mridu crept up to the window and so did the rest. So she tried to peep inside the window, and the rest, Meena and Ravi, also started peeping inside the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding a violin and bowstring, her elbows jutting out and her eyes glazed with concentration. So, Lali was learning the violin and she was trying to play a music in it. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was a bony figure of a music master. He had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and an old fashioned tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glittered up and down the stem of the violin. So here they explain that how the music teacher looked. He was a thin fellow with like a bony figure, and he had a bald head, and he had applied oil for the hair, and it was running around his ears, and he also wore a gold chain and a diamond ring also. So it glittered as he played the violin. A large foot struck out from beneath his gold bordered vesty edge, and he was bleating time on the floor with a story big toe. He played a few notes. Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference! The music master notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whistling along. As Ravi said, Mritu stared at that huge, beringed hand moving effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music squawk. There was Lali derailing again. So here the master, he taught wonderful music to Lali, but Lali always stayed aback. She missed the note and she was not playing the violin correctly. So here the violin was played beautifully by the music master, and Ravi and Mritu, they were staring at that huge man, how he is playing such a beautiful music in the violin. But always Lali was derailing again. She was not caught up with the theme of the music. She was always out of tune. Listen, there's someone wailing from the gate. Amma, Amma. So Ravi noticed that someone is calling from the gate, Amma, Amma. So he wants to see who it was. Ravi, send that beggar away. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from. So here, Ravi's mother, that is Rukumani, she heard the beggar's sound and she calls Ravi and he asks him to send the beggar away. At that time, Party also was telling that this beggar, is continuously coming here for the past 1 week, and she doesn't want him to come again. So they ask him to chase away. They call Ravi and they ask to chase the beggar away from that place. Mritu and Meena followed Ravi out. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. So, what happened after he called Amma, he started making himself comfortable under a big tree in the garden. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze while he waited for the arms to appear. So, what happened? The beggar he started to take rest under the neem tree, and he before the arms could come, before some food or something Rukumani to bring, till she brings, he wants to take rest or have a little nap, a little sleep. Ravi spoke to him sternly. Go away. My party says it's time you found another house to beg from. So, what happened? He calls that beggar, you go away from here because my party has said that you should find another house to go and beg. You had been continuously coming and begging in our house. The ladies of this house are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. So the beggar says, so this whole week the ladies of this house have fed me. Now I couldn't believe that they are turning me out somewhere. They are turning me away. Sad his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth with its few remaining teeth stained brown with beetle chewing. So, what happened? This man, beggar, he couldn't believe that the ladies are turning him out because they had given food for the past 1 week. So he started shouting, Amma, Amma. So again, Rukumani screams from inside the house. She really sounded fed up. She told Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen and he is not to come again. Tell him that. So what happened? She says that there's nothing left inside the kitchen and ask him to go away from here and never come again. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear. There under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and sighed. So, what happened? Ravi need not try to explain it to the beggar because it was clearly heard by all of them. So like the beggar would also have heard it. I'll go, but I am weary, so only let me have rest here under this tree. The sun is so hot, the tar has melted on the road. My feet are already blistered. So what I can say, I'll go away for sure. I will soon leave this place. But the sun is so hot and I have no slippers on my feet. So when I walk on the road, my feet are burning. And he says, and he shows the feet to them and he says that it is already having blistered. He stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. He lifted up his feet and showed how many wounds he had on his feet. So this time the children were very they were very surprised to see his leg with so many wounds, and they started showing compassion towards the beggar. I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals. Have you got an old pair somewhere in the house? So Mridu inquired Ravi that if they had any old slippers, they might give it to the beggar because he had not have any money to buy a slipper. I don't know. Ours are too small to fit his feet, or we'd have given them to him. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming in the afternoon heat. So here Ravi says that our slippers are very small and it would not fit the beggar's feet. Meanwhile, the beggar was looking at the road which was gleaming in the sunshine and he was very scared to walk on the hot road. He needs something on his feet. It is not fair. Mridu spoke in a voice choked with feeling, her big eyes filling. So, what happened? Mridu really felt very sad for the beggar and she wanted to give him some kind of chappals to be worn on his feet. So, shh, I'm thinking about it, blubbering. It's not fair, it's not fair, isn't going to help. In 2 minutes, he'll be frying his feet on the road. So, just saying it's not fair doesn't mean anything. We have to take immediate action, or else again he will be burning his foot on the road. What he needs is a pair of chappals. So, where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. So, the three children decided to give a pair of chappals to the beggar, and they went in search inside the house whether they could find any old chappals to give away to the beggar. Just as they stepped into the veranda, Mrudu's eyes fell on the odd looking chapels she had noticed when she arrived. So, as they went to enter the house to search for the chapels, Mrudu noticed the old chapels which was lying on the veranda. So, when she arrived no, in the morning, that time she noticed that slippers, but she didn't have any time to ask who it belongs to. Ravi, who are those? Whose are those? These are just the right size. So she says, see whose slippers are these? This is the right size of the beggar. Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby looking but sturdy old slippers. He beamed and nodded. Mritu and Mila followed him nervously back to the garden. Here, wear these and don't come back. So they gave the chappals to the beggar and they also warned him not to come back again. So they stole the chappals from the veranda and they just gave it to the beggar. The beggar stared at the slippers, hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulders, pushed his feet into them, and left. So, what happened? The beggar was very happy for the slippers. He immediately put it on his feet, muttering a blessing to the children. So he or even blessed the children. In a minute, he had vanished around the corner of the street. So, as fast as he could, the beggar walked away from Rukmani's house. The music teacher came out of the house and took an unappreciative look at the three of them sitting quietly under the tree playing marbles. Then he searched for his chappals in the veranda where he had put them. So after the music teacher has completed the music, he just came out to the veranda and he was very surprised to see all the kids sitting and playing pebbles in a silent way. And he didn't think about that anymore. He just went to the veranda to wear his slippers and go away. Lali, have you seen my chappals, my dear? I remember having kept them here. Let's search every corner of the veranda. So, what happened? He says, the music teacher says that he had removed his slippers over here when he entered the house and now he is not able to find it. And he also calls Lali and tells her to search every corner of the veranda. He scurried around looking over the railing and crouching near the flower pots to look between them. So he was searching the whole veranda and whole garden for the slippers. Brand new they were. I went all the way to Mount Road to buy them. They cost a whole month's fees. Do you know? So what happened? When Lali came to help him, Lali, he told Rani that the slippers were a new one and he had purchased for very costly and it sometimes it was up to the worth of 1 month's salary for him. Soon Lali went to tell her mother. So what happened? Since the issue was being growing up, so Lali entered inside the house to report it to her mother. Rukumani appeared looking harassed with party following her. Where could they be? It is really quite upsetting to think someone might have stolen them. So many vendors come to the door. So what happened? Rukumani, as she heard that the chappals were missing, she was very angry and she came out and she told, Where could they be? Where it'll go? How could anyone steal a slipper?" So what happened? Party also says that so many vendors, vendor means people who selling things come to the door. They might have taken it and gone. Have you children seen anyone lurking around the veranda? So Rukumani, after hearing grandmother that many of vendors come there, she inquires the children, did they see anyone around the veranda? Rukumani caught sight of Ravi, Mritu and Meena sitting under the tree and saw that they were curiously quiet. So the children were very quiet and they were sitting very quietly under the neem tree. So Rukumani was surprised to see the children, and she also came to know that they had done some mistake around, some mischief around there. So only the children are sitting very silently. A sharp V-shaped line had formed between her eyebrows. Another straight, tighter one appeared in the place of her usually soft, pleasant mouth. Rukumani was angry, thought Mridu with a shiver. So what happened? Rukumani got very angry and she stared at the kids. So Mritu also was frightened to see her aunt so angry. Children, so what happened? Amma, so she asks again to the children whether they had noticed the chappals. Amma, didn't you tell me about Karna who gave away everything he had, even his gold earrings, as he was so kind and generous? So what happened? Ravi tries to explain that he has given like Karna to the beggar. How Karna has given everything to him, everything he has given away to the people. So like that, he also wanted to give the chappals to the beggar since he had wounded his legs. So at that time, Rukumani scolds Ravi. Silly, Karna didn't give away other people's things. He only gave away his own. So she tries to explain that Karna had never stolen somebody's things and he gives away. He just gives away his own things. Ravi rushed barrarously on, but my chappals wouldn't have fitted the beggar's feet. And Amma, if they did fit, would you really not have minded? So what happens? He asks, yes, Karna has given his own things, but mine will not fit the beggar's feet. So only we took the music master's slippers and gave it to him. So when she heard that, she got very angry and she told Ravi to go inside. How dare you speak to me like that? Go inside this minute right now. So what happened? She asked him to move inside the house and she scolds him. How can he speak like that to him? So what happened again? Rukumani, she decided to give the slippers of uncles of the children, Gopu Mama. She hurried indoors and brought out Gopu Mama's hardly worn new chappals. So here Rukumani goes inside, she brings a brand new slipper of Gopu Mama's and she give it away to the music teacher. These should fit you, sir. Please put this on. I am so sorry, my son has been very naughty. So what happened? She apologized that the children had done such a mischief, and she also says that these are new chappals and he can wear it. The music master's eyes lit up. He put the new chappals on, trying not to look too happy. Well, I suppose these will have to do. So what happened? The the music teacher was very happy to see a brand new chappals. So he wore it very happily, but he didn't show the happiness to the others. Just he walked away. These children, these days, children have no respect for elders. What to do? A Hanuman incarnate. Only Rama can save such naughty fellow. So what happened? I'm sorry, children. So what happened? This music teacher, he scolded Rabi that he is supposed to be a monkey. So at that time, Rukumani didn't want his son to be called a monkey. Rukumani's eyes flashed. She didn't seem to like Ravi being called a monkey, even a holy monkey. She stood stiff and straight by the front door. It was clear she wanted him to leave quickly. When he had clattered off in his new chappals, she spoke to the children. So what happened? She was very angry when the music teacher scolded Ravi as a monkey. So she stood there and stared at the music teacher. The music teacher also understood and he left away soon. So then after that incident, again Rukumani comes to normal and she asks Mridu to go inside and have something to eat. Mridu, come on and have some tiffin. Honestly, how do you children think of such things? So what happened? She says, come in and have some tiffin. And why do you children think like this way? So what happened? She takes the children inside the house. As she walked towards the kitchen with Muthu and Meena, she suddenly began to laugh. So what happened? She started laughing. So she took the children inside the kitchen to give them some tiffin or something. As she walked inside, she started laughing. Thank God your Gopu Mama doesn't wear his chappals to work. So she says that they all must thank God that Gopu Mama has not worn his chappals for work. He's supposed to wear shoes. He used to wear shoes, but he is always in such a hurry to throw off his shoes and socks and get into his chappals as soon as he comes home. So Rukumani was wondering what she could say that when his uncle will ask about the chappals. She was trying to find an answer. What's your mama going to say this evening when I tell him I gave his chappals to the music master? She was wondering what Gopu Mama say when she says that she had given the slippers to the music master. So at here the story ends, children. So you might have understood the theme of the story and the moral of the story. So let us see the moral of the story, children. The story tells us how the children show kindness to animals. So in first part, the children show kindness to a small animal who's left lonely in the near the gate. They take the cat, they give it a shelter and feed him. So this shows how the children show kindness to the animals. Next, the story also reveals how children show compassion towards a poor beggar who had no chappals. Again, the children show kindness and compassionate towards the beggar who had been having wounded legs, blistered legs. So they just donate him a chappals. They give a gift of chappals. So here it is clearly understood that we should be kind and compassionate to all our fellow people. So now we come to the end of the session, children. I hope you enjoyed the story. And till we meet in the next video, it is bye from me. Thank you, children.